chappie, good head taller than me, they breed them really big in Deutschland, and said, completely stone-faced, "This is not a problem, this is what bumpers are for." Never forgot that. You need to take that attitude yourself, Con. Bit of Germanic calm would do you the world of good. Visibly struggling to control himself, his jaw muscles clenching as he ground his teeth, Conway turned away from his brother, dragging his key fob from his jacket pocket to lock the SUV. "You two, you never change, do you?" commented a woman's voice behind them, her high heels clicking onto the pavement as she swung both legs out of the back seat of her Range Rover, her knees pressed together as if she were an actress or a model surrounded by crouching paparazzi keen to direct their lenses up her skirt. She gave a nod of thanks to the driver who had come around to open the door for her and shook out her wonderfully thick mane of streaked blonde hair with a swift, practised move that settled her curls into the perfect shape into which they had been tonged by her hairdresser half an hour ago. "Honestly," Charlotte Sachs said dismissively to her brothers, "you'll be in your 90s and still going at each other as if you were fighting about who gets to play with the Scalextric limited edition Bentley, or whatever it was back then. When actually we should all be worrying about what the hell Daddy's playing at. Sending for all four of us on such short notice, he never does this." Unnoticed across the street, Jeffrey Sachs's other daughter, Bella, climbed out of her own car, a sensible Audi saloon which was quite overshadowed by the Aston Martin, the Jaguar SUV and the Range Rover. Glancing over at Charlotte, Bella realised that her sister was clearly fresh from the Nicky Clark salon on Carlos Place. The way the two daughters had reacted to their father's summons, a call from his personal assistant which had come in a couple of hours ago, had been entirely typical of their respective characters. Bella had spent the time holed up in her office, frantically passing in review as many of her current and recent projects as she could, while Charlotte had rung up Nicky Clark and insisted he shoehorn her in for an emergency appointment. To Bella's extreme frustration, Charlotte appeared not just perfectly groomed, but superbly confident, much more prepared than her sister for a crucial once-in-a-lifetime meeting with their father. Because Charlotte was carrying herself with the assurance of a woman who had enough sway for Nicky Clark himself to do her hair on such short notice, and who knew that the £200 blow-dry made her look like $1 million. By contrast, Bella was the sturdy workhorse to her sister's show pony. Bella reached a hand up to hook her shoulder-length hair behind her ear, gloomily aware that the best she could hope for was that it be neat and tidy. Meanwhile, Bart exclaimed wistfully, quite ignoring the last part of Charlotte's comment, "That Scalextric! God, I was obsessed with it for years." His eyes were misty with memory. For a moment, he looked exactly like the small boy who had adored his racing cars. In many ways, he still was that small boy, impulse-driven, greedy, and highly skilled at coaxing others to give him what he wanted. "Remember my 1970s McLaren Formula Ones, Con?" he continued, oblivious to his brother's scowl. "I practically took them to bed with me every night." It would have been instantly obvious to any observer that the four of them were siblings. The family resemblance was extremely strong. They were all blonde and fair, colouring they inherited from their mother, who, though American, had entirely German family origins. Christy had been a model for years, famous for her extraordinary cornflower blue eyes. Like hers, her children's irises were unusually large, which made their eyes seem almost otherworldly, flooded with intense colour. As children, they had all been angelically flaxen-haired, which had added to the unearthly impression. Bart's tousled locks, more like a surfer's than a businessman's, were still sun-kissed, though their bright gold, like Charlotte's, owed more to art than to nature. Charlotte's exquisite layers of pale caramel to gilt were hand-painted every 2